Hello, everyone. I'm Jason.
And I'm Moses.
And welcome to the ScalingFreedom.ai show. Our goal is to translate AI research papers into practical, actionable knowledge so that you can use it in your personal life and your business. We're super excited to kick off our first show today. Moses, I'm going to just kick off with a question for you. I'd love to if you could just banter with me for a little bit. Why are we doing this? Like, why even bother with a show and people can read AI research papers on their own?
First and foremost, I think for myself, and I want to speak for you, is we want to learn. We're curious about learning ourselves so that we can apply this, as well as condensing this information down. And for those who are interested, getting condensed understanding of some of these research papers that are very impactful, but super dense, and they can get this information in a short period of time so that they can think about it and apply it to their businesses and how they're learning as well.
Yeah, I love that. And again, it seems like there's a lot of shows out there that focus on AI workflows, look over your shoulder, and they end stuff. There's also just a ton of hype out there. And what Moses and I realized was that, hey, it would suck if there were all this incredible knowledge bounded in these research papers that don't see the light of day. So our goal is, how can we take what's most essential, most relevant, and most practical without the hype and figure out a way to translate that for you guys in simple language? So I guess back to you, maybe it'd be helpful to just share a quick background on who we are, just sharing a little bit of our track record and kind of what we bring to the table, and then just how that connects to this show.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I've spent a number of years in the technology space working for large organizations like Oracle, Red Hat, all the way down to kind of hyper-growth startups with GitLab and Stripe, all the way down to a 0 to 1 startup with Index and Company and Canopy as well. And so for me, what I've always loved is the marriage of technology and business, and really understanding where the challenges are and where you get leverage out of technology to enable this. And in this kind of transformational time with AI, it just facilitates that. And it's just evolving so quickly. So really enabling kind of the two core things I really enjoy is technology and business coming together to get that leverage and learning about AI and how that can be applied here.
Yeah. And Moses, you've been through a couple, just your 2 decades in tech. Like you've seen different iterations of technology. What makes this AI revolution or this inflection point different, you think, from the other ones? Like, obviously there's mobile, there's web, there's Web3. Like what makes you excited about this revolution more so than the ones in the past?
Well, I think all of those, what you just outlined, and others that I've kind of experienced have been, it's all compounding. And so we're at this point where all of these are kind of coming together, and as a result of it, things are moving. Interoperability is increasing, right? And those challenges, those barriers are kind of coming down from a technology perspective as well as a data perspective. And AI is kind of layering on top of it, and it's all happening so quick. So it's really amazing to see this to evolve at the pace that it's evolving, and then really how businesses actually apply. And what's even more exciting is the businesses that will come out of this transformation. And so it's super exciting.
Yeah, I think this is the most exciting time to be alive. And just super quick background on me, last 20 years have worked across 6 to 7 different industries, across large Fortune 500 enterprises, all the way down to a Series C startup. Back to contextualizing this back to the show, just talking to folks within our network, there's just a lot of, I think, misinformation or not even knowing where to start with AI. And what has been really fun and exhilarating for me is just knowing that, hey, there's a lot to learn. It's impossible for any one person to stay on top of this industry with the pace of change. It seems like every day or every week there's some sort of announcement, right? Anthropic, OpenAI just released their new models. And so how do we make sense of it all? And how do we bring it back down to the day-to-day. What does it mean for my business? What does it mean for how it's going to improve my life? And I will caveat by saying that for any one person to say that they're an expert in this space, I think is really hard to say that. And so one of the main goals of the show is to take this leading learner persona, is that we want to stay at the forefront of learning this material and then playing that business translator role so that it's taking the hype and bring it down to practicality.
Yeah, and the thing I'd add to that too is also enabling to identify some patterns and trends that evolve out of it, right? Kind of like those different business models, but like what's working, and where it goes. And as adoption of any technology, it starts, right? And then in order for it to scale, get traction, do standardization and things like that, a lot of these research papers kind of help facilitate that and where people gravitate towards it. And that's what enables that next stair step up, right? Where there's alignment. And so that pattern and trends that come out of these, I think are very intriguing and helpful to have a look at.
Yep. And most founders that we talk to are, one, either too busy to focus on the latest advancement of AI research. Two, they want to implement AI within their teams or organization, but they just don't know where to start or where to begin or how to drive adoption with their team. And three, there's also just this understanding that AI is maybe just a chat tool interacting with ChatGPT, but I don't know what's more. Like what more can AI do for me? And we'll talk about in a future episode on what the 5 levels of AI adoption looks like. And most people are stuck at this level 0 layer, which is, hey, I'm just interacting with this interface regardless of what model. And it's just having this back and forth conversation. And yeah, so love to share more in future episode of what we can do beyond that. So bring us home, Moses. If you could just share one thing that you're super excited about in 2025, what would it be from an AI perspective?
Yes. So I would kind of personally, from an AI perspective, is really diving into the understanding of how are helping organizations move from just using ChatGPT to actually really start to enabling individuals to be increasingly more productive in their roles, right? And really scaling their processes and so increasing that adoption and viewing it more as an opportunity and less as kind of a fearful state of change.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think we're going through an inflection point right now where I think folks are starting to realize that AI is not just this LLM chat interface, that there's more beyond that. And so I think we're evolving from AI as LLM chat into more agentic, into more like workflows that actually help me automate my business in terms of either saving time, eliminating manual tedious processes, and then actually helping me drive top line revenue. And I think that's what I'm really excited about, because when I talk to most friends, it's like, hey, I'm going to use ChatGPT to help me improve my email, or or I'm going to use it to like help me improve my writing. I was like, well, have you thought about how you might use it to improve your thought process or interview you to tease out the insights that are really going to transform the next few years of your business? And so that's what I'm really psyched and pumped up about is it's like, how do we use AI to help me drive impact to my life and to my business? So that's why we're doing the show, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode where we'll dive into building an AI dream team through your office chaos.